I found out on January 15th that I have cancer, and one of the very first things in the turmoil of figuring out why and what and how cancer affected me, one of the things that the Lord had said to me regarding my middle son, who's away from God, was if this whole process causes him to come back to me, would you do this for him? Of course. I met a woman by happerchance in radiation, and she said across the room to me, I've always admired people with great faith. And I smiled at her and I said, what do you mean? And she said, it's just not something that I have. And I said, here's the cool thing about the Lord. With his economy, his word says that when we receive him, we get the fullness of Christ. And so the day that you choose him, you get all of it. And so today, if you chose him as your Savior, you get the same kind of faith that I have. You get the same access to the fullness of Christ that I have today. And she was like this. So I stood up and I walked over and I hugged her and I said, I'm Lori. She said, I'm Sam. And she said, I'm stage 4 lung cancer. And she said, it's my own fault. I'm not doing very well. The next day I saw her and she was significantly worse. She talked for about an hour and told me about her life, and I just listened. And then I shared about my faith and the math that I've had to do in the thought of having to meet the Lord sooner than I thought that I would in this life, and why it's so much easier to let go here and to trust him for eternity because I know where I'm going, and that she could have the same thing. And then I reached into my bag and handed her the Bible. And she opened it up and tears filled her eyes and she said, you wrote my name in this. And I said, I did. I believed today was going to be a new beginning for you. I said, would you like to know, the Lord like this? If you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus is Lord, you have that. And she said, I would. So I just knelt by her and prayed and hugged her, and I said, today's the beginning. Today's your new day. It's your assurance. And she hugged me and she said, I didn't just get this today. And she said, I got a friend today too. And I hugged her, and that was the last time that I saw her. A week later is when I finished radiation, and I saw her daughter that day, and her daughter hugged me and said, thank you for changing my mom's life. And I thought, at the beginning of cancer, God asked me if I would do this for my son. And then the question becomes, would I do it for somebody that I didn't know? And he did it for me. So the answer is yes.